Here we are at the 10th episode of the Best Kept Secrets in Supplements. This is where we keep expanding our viewers' knowledge about herbal medication and their proper use. I'm Bob Burdican from New Wave Therapy, and along with me on the podcast today, once again, is Dan Young of Country Doctor Nutritional Center. Welcome, Dan. How are you?
Doing great, Bob. Thank you so much. I'm really enjoying these series we're doing.
Yeah, it's been a lot of fun. And, I just mentioned that we're on our 10th episode in the series, and we've really covered a lot of territory when it comes to using a natural method of taking care of the human body, rather than continuing to rely on conventional medicine platforms of treating the symptoms and ignoring the true cause of any program. And, as far as any problem that a person might have. But memory tells me that we're still going to be looking at ways of caring for and maintaining the human immune system. And we closed off last episode saying that we're going to be looking at two separate products. And those two products are HP LObelia and HP RespFree. So why don't we start today's discussion with HP LObelia, Dan, and then later on move on to RespFree, okay?
Absolutely. I'm excited. Let's get started.
Okay, I wanted to start today's discussion with HP LObelia for a very specific reason. And that reason is there's been a lot of negative press out there about the use of LObelia itself, especially from the conventional medicine crowd. Wouldn't you agree on that, Dan?
Yeah, there's a lot of misinformation and just misunderstood.
Okay, so why do you personally feel the conventional medicine community, continues to feel the way that they do about the use of LObelia?
Historically, LObelia has been used in some of the most challenging cases when it comes to people dealing with things like seizures and spasms and coughing and cramping and respiratory, central nervous system stress. And LObelia has proven itself time and time again to be a very natural antispasmodic, a bronchial dilator. It absolutely has an amazing, almost immediate relaxation and calming effect on the central nervous system. So it's a very powerful, very potent herbal remedy that has been around for thousands of years and well documented for safety and in those areas of immune challenges and other challenges of the central nervous system.
Okay, but to make sure that people start to have a much more positive view of LObelia, Dan, why don't you explain to the viewers exactly how Country Doctor Herbals creates HP LObelia in your federal and state approved lab facility?
Well, the laboratory itself is definitely inspected on a regular basis, state and federal levels. So we have to meet a specific tedious EMP guideline for producing a supplement, a natural herbal or nutritional supplement that people can feel safe about using. And also they can feel confident that when they read the label, such as when you read the label on LObelia, there's only two ingredients. Which is the LObelia herb itself, and it's suspended in apple cider vinegar, which helps create a very powerful, well-supported digestive pH, and it helps the LObelia to just activate and do that much better job. So that's kind of the manufacturing side, is that it's very much governed what we can and must have in our products, their sources, their certificate of analysis, organically pure, third-party validation. We have an outside independent lab to run our samples through, evaluation for any kind of microbiome, for microbial activity, bacterial activity, make sure that it's safe for human consumption. So there's a lot that goes into making certain that a product we manufacture right here in Cheyenne can be shipped to someone like yourself in California and then provided to a consumer in a very safe and ethical manner.
That's quite a process. And But I'd like to go a little deeper into the quality of the product as well as in all of the Country Doctor herbal products that, not just
Absolutely.
HP LObelia. Why don't you explain where you source the ingredients to create these great products?
There's very few growers in country because we don't bring anything from outside of the country because we don't have a way of guaranteeing their growing quality, chemical-free nature of the soil, how it was handled or harvested. Was it harvested green and not? Whereas we like wildcraft is a term used in the herbal arena to make sure that that product was harvested at its peak ripeness and full nutritional value, no chemicals. So we say with in-country sources, that's one of the things that I am very, pleased that we have found 3 or 4 nice sources here in the United States that do adhere to soil quality, no chemicals, wild crafting for their harvesting philosophy. They don't pick everything and throw it in there and say, hey, this is ready to go. They wait for it to mature and ripen and have really high quality phytochemical, phytonutrient value in every herb. And they provide our lab with a certificate of analysis, certificate of origin, basically, to let us know that this is the exact thing it says it is. And if it's tested third party, what you get in the bag is exactly what we certified that it to be.
Okay. I also remember you mentioning that the HP LObelia is considered to be what you called a lead sheet product, and that it helps increase the use of so many different Country Doctor herbal products. I was hoping that you might go a little bit deeper into explaining how and why it works the way it does.
Yeah, that's a great reference point. And you're right. We, from historical education, the School of Natural Healing in Springville, Utah, and all of Christopher's work and some of the great turn of the century herbalists that we have in this country and all the literature and all the science behind herbs like lobelia. These are in the literature as lead sheet herbs. And when you think about what it's able to do when it's taken internally with other herbals, synergistically, it helps everything work better. It takes things throughout the nervous system where they belong and helps the body recognize and utilize those herbal nutrients just that much faster and better. So it enhances, as you mentioned, any protocol, whether you're trying to support the immune system, digestion, structural integrity, cardiovascular, or respiratory, support, is going to enhance any of those protocols that you work with people on.
Personally, I have the feeling that the conventional medical community operates the way it does. It's basically due to the fact that there's been such a loss of knowledge within the area of natural health within their community and within their entire training method of conventional medicine. And it has their students even, let alone the doctors themselves, centered on a multi-symptom treatment method rather than centering on the client's true problem. Yeah. And I know we could continue to spend a great more time dealing with HP LObelia, but I do feel it might be a good time to move on to HP RespFree and learn why that particular product was created. Okay, Dan?
Absolutely. I'll follow your lead.
Okay. So tell us about HP RespFree, how it's made, how it helps people, and the method that you recommend to your clients, the most beneficial way to use it.
This is one of my favorite products. So this is what it looks like right here.
Okay.
HP RespFree. And when you think about the contents, I'll just kind of take you through a little ingredients list here. When you think about marshmallow root, mullein, comfrey, chickweed, Mormon tea, pussy root, rose hips, what you're dealing with is a synergistic blend that is going to help the body's ability. It's going to enhance, and that's what all supplements do. They should enhance normal performance, giving the body what it needs to perform optimally because of the natural occurring nutrition found in herbs and whole food. So when you take things like mullein and comfrey, you're dealing with people that might be dealing with a child with, say, croup or you're dealing with, a case of pleurisy or someone who's got a weakened immune state and they're constantly recurrently getting things like pneumonia and respiratory problems, lung challenges. This is one of the most proven blends, synergistic blends of supplementation. And that's what supplement means, to supplement what the body's missing so that it can perform its job. The supplement itself will not do these things, but it contains the raw materials necessary for the body to perform its functions. And that's what food and food supplementation, herbal supplementation is really supposed to really pinpoint and support the cause of the body's inability to perform by design.
That really brings up thought on my side that, I'm sure there's many people out there watching, they've never even realized that we're so many, well, I guess you could call them subsystems within the immune system itself, and how they tend to work together to reinforce the efficient operation of the entire immune system. Wouldn't you say so?
Yeah, it's so true. And again, you mentioned something earlier that's worth kind of touching on at this point.
Sure.
The different subsystems of the body. When a body has what's called pattern recognition, body is giving off a specific type of symptomatology. Symptoms are not disease. Symptoms, as you've mentioned, are the body's outcry that it needs support. It's lacking something based on the current environmental stressors, nutritional deficiencies, presence of toxins, whatever that might be. And the liver itself can give off well over 60 different symptomatology that can create confusion, especially in modern medical philosophy, that each one of these symptoms needs its own standalone type of sub-support with a pharmaceutical or something like that. And our experience has been for well over 20 years that when you address what's missing and you give the body what's missing or correct something that shouldn't be there, give the body again the support it needs to either cleanse itself properly or nourish itself properly, then you see almost a melting away effect of these symptoms that aren't illness at all. They're just a sign of dis-ease in the body. And herbals tend to really step up and give the body what it needs to correct.
So if I understand what you're saying correctly, that HP RespFree is a product that directly affects the respiratory system, meaning that it's used to tackle thick problems or situations that are based in the lungs and then promote normal function of the system affected. Is that correct, Dan?
Absolutely, except it's reversed. It supports the normal function of the system of the body. So then the byproduct is the symptom of that dysfunction goes away. So whether it's congestion or respiratory problems, breathing, things called like, bronchitis or coughs, cramping, that type of thing, those are all symptoms. And we got to change our thinking a little bit and realize that when we give the body the right support, the byproduct is those symptoms will improve.
Okay. So I take it that you use RespFree on a very regular basis. You said it's one of your favorite products. And when it comes to any respiratory challenge that you might come across, you use it. And that might even lead to the inclusion of that lead sheep herbal product, HP LObelia. Would that be correct, Dan?
Yes, absolutely. We live at a very high altitude here in Wyoming, 7,000 plus feet.
Yeah.
And, we see a lot of people with pulmonary challenges at getting the congestion out. The dilation is diminished. Oxygen levels drop. A lot of people on oxygen in this town. It's just fascinating to me. And when we get the right nutrition in there so that these bronchioles can be properly dilated by itself with the right support and can get rid of this excess congestion and buildup, detoxify itself properly, which is what the lungs are, is a detoxifying organ for the blood, then we see a major shift in how well people can perform and breathe.
I can perfectly understand what you've said. I've been out to the clinic a few times, and I know you're aware that I was born with asthma and it's plagued me throughout my entire life. My personal experience in using HP RespFree has allowed my body to no longer need artificial drug therapies.
Yeah.
Okay. So what else can you share with us about either of these products that we've been discussing today? Anything special?
Other than it's going to give the body exactly what it's needing from a phytochemical standpoint, the ability to decongest, to get rid of excess mucus. It's going to position the body to have better uptake of oxygen, better central nervous system performance, which will affect cardiovascular, musculoskeletal, cognitive function, the immune system enhancement, hormonal and digestive enhancement. It has the most amazing thing I can share is that when you work with these types of supplementation, you're giving the body what it needs to have, like a cascading effect of an amplifying effect throughout all the systems of the body to reduce stress and perform by design. So you're giving it what it needs to do its job.
We've really covered a lot of really good stuff here today, Dan. And I really want to give you a great shout out since you're actually taking time off of your retreat time to be here today with us. And I know I appreciate it. And I'm sure that our viewers are just as pleased with you taking that time.
Yeah. It's always a pleasure to be with you. I love these opportunities to share with others the powerful, amazing world of herbal remedies and the things that we produce at Country Doctor Herbals.
Well, I can see that it's also time to start to close the episode off and start to think about what we might cover next week. Are we still going to be looking at herbal-based products and how they work with the immune system, or something else next week?
I think that we'll look into our calendar of cleanses maybe and start looking into that area and or specific nutritionals. I don't know if we've covered one of the most amazing herbal products that we have specific to pancreas, but I kind of like to lean towards pancreas next week. There's some great home resources along with herbal pancreas, HP pancreas, that we should really probably take a close look at.
Yeah, we haven't even came close to doing anything like that. So I think the people would really appreciate it. But before we go, I want to answer a question that I've received about why we're doing this series. It's quite simple to answer. It's a project that's been needed to be accomplished a long time ago. It's also a product that I know that needed to be done. And it's a project that I wanted to do, if nothing more than to give everyone the opportunity to realize out there is more than one way to handle a problem that they might have, that there is a secondary method to handle health issues. And you don't have to rely on chemical answers. And you need to allow the body to start the process of healing itself from the inside out, the way we were designed to heal naturally. And once again, I'd like to remind everyone watching all of the products that we got covered today, as well as ones we've covered in the past or in the series that will come along. You can go to our website of newwavetherapy.com. And in closing, I want to remind our viewers, both returning and new, that we upload a new podcast to youtube.com and our website each Monday. And in addition, we also load the same podcast to other platforms such as Rumble, Anchor, Spotify, and Apple Podcasts, all as New Wave Therapy Podcasts with an S. So if you haven't already done so, please like, share, subscribe, as well as give us a thumbs up and help the algorithm. And do hit your notification bell to be able to be notified when we do upload that new podcast, along with hitting the like button, are all the actions that truly make this series grow. So until next week, when Dan and I will bring you more of the best kept secrets and supplements, be safe and be healthy. Talk to you later, Dan.
Thank you, Bob. I'll see you soon.
Okay.